start again. It's a redskin.
Afternoon, guys. Me and Kate are headed home from church. Bethany and Penelope are going antiquing with Bethany's parents, some friends of theirs. So, kind of catch you up after yesterday. We delivered that hay, and I got home. Dad brought the seat over. I went ahead and got the disc bind hooked up. I just hooked up to the tractor, pulled it up on the rock. Whenever I get home, I got to swap the PTO shaft on the tractor and get that hooked up and kind of check the disc bind out. I'm gonna grease it, get the hydraulic hoses hooked up, and check the gearboxes. Sounds like quite a bit of stuff, but it really won't take that long. Once I get all that done, me and Kate's gonna dig in to cut some hay. Got the PTO shaft. Oil's checked, everything's greased up good. I did top off a couple gearboxes. Some, they just kind of blow a little bit out the breather when they get nice and warm. Get Kate's hat on. All right, Kate, let's roll. He was farming on this little tractor here while I was finishing that up. You ready to go? Here's the crop. Horse grass with a little bit of clover in it. Really good. This is actually 4th cutting. Fire up this beast. Hope nothing blows up. Let's roll. Got us a limb. It's a pretty big one, actually. See if I can flip this over there out of the way so I can cut through here. Finish this round. We'll be in business. Look at this, guys. This is beautiful. I know it's clover. I know a lot of horse people don't like that, but I got a lot of horse people that do. But it's knee high. I mean, taller if you stand it up. Here's my knee. And pretty well all like that. Like I said, some of the low spots are a little bit less, but it's actually probably more than that over there where it got a little bit more fertilizer. It's actually kind of laying over a little bit, starting to lodge. It'd be the best 4th cutting I've ever gotten, especially orchard grass. You know, you get 4 cuttings easy of alfalfa, a lot of times 5 around here, but 4 cuttings of orchard grass or any kind of grass is just about unheard of, right, Cade? You ready to get back in the tractor? Okay. Let's roll. Done with the outside, and we're going to start going back and forth. That beautiful hay. You guys don't think that 2 is too young to have him running the disc line on his own, do you? Just need to put some extensions on the pedals. He'd enjoy doing that. Got her done. This field. Okay, ready to go to the next field. Go to the back, cut that ridge. When I go back there, we'll kind of look at the hay and see if I want to cut anything else back there. And then once we get back done with that, we're gonna go start the field that I'm gonna rent. It's really junk hay, which is why I'm wanting to do all my stuff first, so I don't spread that seed over here. I'm gonna cut it and bale it to get it cleaned up, and then we're gonna work it up and plant some wheat in it. So that'll be towards the end of this week, hopefully. Alright guys, this is all we got left of the ridge. And I'm thinking about cutting this little bit over here and a little bit right over here. Some really good looking stuff though. Alright, I'll finish cutting this, then I'll decide exactly what else I'm going to cut back here. Roll on. Got the ridge done. I cut that side of it against the woods. Obviously I left the lower spots that didn't really have much orchard grass. I went ahead and cut that, and I'm going to cut this ridge right out here. And that may be all I cut. I haven't decided 100% yet if I'm going to cut any more than that or not. I've pretty well mentally in my mind accepted the fact that I'm probably not going to make it over to the rental field tonight. I'll probably get done, have a little bit of daylight, but then by the time I drive over there, I won't have much time. I'll have to turn right back around and get back because I don't want to be going down the road in the dark. So it is what it is, I guess. So I'll end up having to cut all of it tomorrow. On the night. This is the last bit that I'm cutting for tonight, guys. This is it right here. That's all she wrote. The moon's coming out. The sun's going down, and we're done cutting for the night. Now, we didn't finish, but we're done. Or maybe we didn't get done, but we're finished. No, we're done, but we didn't get finished. Excuse my filthy windows, guys, but there's the hay first field that we cut. Alright guys, so an estimate of what we cut, so if we left some stuff out, it's kind of hard to tell, but we got 6 acres here. We got 3, 4, 5, another 3, probably cut 8 acres in the backfield maybe. So 14 acres, and I'm actually thinking, I just popped in my head about the field there by the house. I may go ahead and cut that tonight. Thinking about it. I think I'm gonna cut it. Guys, we're cutting the field at the house. See the moon out? We'll only have to turn the lights on. This field won't make a whole lot, but we'll get it cleaned up and it'll be some pretty good hay. This will be mostly teff and alfalfa mix, actually. We're gonna turn some lights on. for the simple fact that I'm going to do the back cut, and I don't want to get into anything because I can't see. It's getting a little bit dark. It's not terrible. I've run in darker than this with no lights. But if you got lights, why would you not use them, right? That's what I'm saying, at least. These LED lights on the back are the bee's knees, guys. The bee's knees. This thing, and me and Kay's gonna go get something to eat. I don't know if you guys can even see me or not. Turn this light on. Does that help? Maybe you don't want to see me. Wouldn't blame you if you didn't. Catch you guys tomorrow, and we're gonna cut that field that I'm gonna rent. Morning, everybody. It is the next morning, also known as Monday morning. Perfect. And I'm cutting earlier than I would really like to. Well, I'm not cutting yet, but I'm getting ready to jump on the tractor, fire her up, and hit the road. Just because I want to get done. I got some meetings at work I got to go to today. I'm trying to get this done before I go to that. It's about roughly, I'm estimating about 14 to 15 acres. And which should take me maybe 3 hours. But I have no idea what the field's like. I don't know. I mean, they harvested it last year. They haven't touched it since. So, for all I know, it's got giant ruts in it. And if it does have giant ruts in it, we're going to be limited on what we can cut, because I'm not cutting through combine ruts and grain cart ruts. So, let's hit the road and see what we get into here. So there's this pond. You can see the steam rolling off of it. It's pretty cool. Here we are. You see what it is. Foxtail, some fall panicum, some weeds, obviously. It's not good hay by any means, but it's something for him. And I'd really rather not cut it. Actually, I wasn't gonna cut it, but we worked out a deal where basically this is my payment for him for a little bit, so I get things established at least. So it's not the end of the world. Let's get rolling here, see how rough this field is. I mean, there shouldn't be anything out here because it has been farmed up until this year. So as far as that goes, so that's a good thing. Let me get started here and then I'll catch back up. Alright guys, we're cutting. This is round number 6 on this little patch here. You can see what I'm cutting here. It's gonna make a lot of something. If you want to call it hay, you can, but there'll be a lot of it. Alright guys, got this little corner done here. Everything went pretty good. And I'm going to get on the other side of this ditch here. And he's been kind of cleaning this up a little bit. Obviously it's not going to be done in time for me to actually plant it. But hopefully I can kind of get this ditch cleaned up and everything. That's a pretty good sized ditch in there. That's where the last farmer just kind of let it go. Just didn't really do their due diligence on erosion and stuff. And I'm not preaching to nobody, but you got to use your brain. You know, if it's a waterway like this, don't work it up, guys, because you're losing soil there that you're never going to get back. Even if it's not your own field, if you're farming it, that directly impacts you. You know, and if you got it, I mean, if you make it a waterway, you can go through it, just don't work it up, you know. And I'm not a no-till guy. I got this little neck down in here. I hate these little necks like this with drying hay because it's shaded until like late morning, almost noon over here. Then it's shaded again like early afternoon. Don't get a whole lot of drying time. But it is what it is. Make do with what you got, right? You can tell the drainage isn't really good down here. Got some water standing, a little bit muddy right there. Some water standing right over here. Alright, so that muddiness, that's what happens when you just farm around an area that's got some trees growing up like this and it doesn't get fixed. And I understand it's not the farmer's property, it wasn't the farmer's property, it's not my property. And so, you know, I'm going to try to do something, but I can't fix it right because that's a huge investment for a piece of property that's not mine. Now, if the landowner wants to pay to fix that, you know, I would help him out some, you know, but I can't justify spending however many thousands of dollars because it would take me forever to recoup that. And for all I know, after this agreement that we have expires, well, and it's good, better than most row crop farm stuff. It's good. We got 5 years here, so, but it's still not good enough for me to invest, you know, however many thousands of dollars it would take to fix this drainage problem here. And then at the end of that, you know, now if I had it for 10, 15, 20 years, that may make it worthwhile. And I may have a discussion with the landowner, see if he is willing to pay something to fix this, right? But my bet is probably not. Usually landowners don't really want to invest that much in there. They don't really see the payback. You know, for them, it's a piece of property they can have to enjoy. They don't really care if it makes a whole bunch of money, if they're making enough to kind of pay the taxes and all that stuff, you know. Well, I found the ruts, guys. I knew there had to be ruts if this being a farm field. There's no way. There's an entire field with no ruts in it from a row crop farm. No offense to any row crop farmers, but they just want to get their crop out. They don't care about ruts. I'm not saying they don't care, but their priority isn't ruts. Now, from a hay farmer's perspective, you want to, I guess you can't really call us farmers, whatever. But I have a very high priority on ruts because if I put a rut in my field, I'm stuck with that thing for 4, 5, 6 years. And, you know, if you're row crop farming, if you make a rut, when you go to plant it next, you just work it up a little bit, smooth it back out, no big issue. But for me, it is a big issue. Because then I gotta fight it, deal with that. Kills my crop where the rut is, holds water where the rut is. It's really, really rough where the rut is. Just bad all around. I'll actually forego harvesting hay if I'm gonna be leaving ruts. 2 reasons. One is you're gonna have issues getting it dry anyways. The other reason is it's just destroying your field. We're all done. Everything looks like it's in good shape, so that's good. The wet spot I was in is right down here. So there's a ditch there, turns into that tree stuff. Then there's a ditch right here. All right, guys, that got the worst of it. All right, let's head home. Well, guys, the neighbor stopped and asked me if I wanted to cut his little field. He's got a little, he said he thought 4 acres, but it's probably more like 2 or 3. So not much there, not really worth a whole lot to me, but, and it's kind of grown up and brush. But I told him, you know, maybe we can work out a deal, and if he'd be willing to give up some of his giant yard that he mows, then, you know, I might be interested in cleaning it up, working it up, and planting something there, because it'd be worth, even though it's a small patch, it'd be worth more to me right next to this field here since I'm already going to be there. So we'll see. This goes to show, if you want to grow, you got to get out and do stuff, even if it doesn't make you the biggest payday. Sometimes it pays off as word of mouth travels and people see it working, you know. So, anyways, heading home. Ah, this hay is some beautiful stuff, and it smells even better than it looks, let me tell you. I'll walk out here a little bit here and just kind of check it out. It's already starting to feel a little bit damp. It's 5:30. Yeah, I can feel it's actually picking up a little bit of dampness. But the clover leaves, they're not crispy, but you can tell that they've dried pretty good. So, oh man. I really wish you guys could smell this through the camera. Let me show you something. I've been spreading them out further, so to windrow them up, but that means I have to drive on the windrow. Now if we go to this windrow here, you can see that it is a little bit greener on the bottom, for sure. But now if you go over here where the tractor tire is driven, and you flip this up, see how green that is? Just flip that over right there, and I'm going to flip this part right next to it. I'm going to stand back. Tractor hasn't driven. Tractor has driven. This is definitely greener here. If we can get that fluffed up, that'll dry much better. In fact, I think it'll dry. I think if I didn't ever do anything with this, it'll never dry down there. One more reason why I like to windrow it. I don't really like to windrow it, but I like to not drive on it. This is going to yield pretty decent, actually, for fourth cutting orchard grass. Gosh, this stuff is wet. We are definitely going to have to ted this. I think you can see the difference here. Green, this is what was underneath on this clump, and this is how much it's dried there on top. So if we can get it fluffed around, we're definitely going to have to ted. I was hoping I wouldn't have to ted, but like I said, anytime I can get away with not tedding is great, but it's definitely worth going over the field in extra time in order to get the hay dry. Dad's bringing the tedder over tomorrow. And we're going to ted everything. We'll ted this first. This is where the alfalfa is. I'm going to ted all of my hay, which is the higher quality hay. I'm going to be square baled. I am not tedding the junk hay on the rental field. I'm not running my tedder over that garbage. We're going to rake it up, round bale it. That's going to be his hay for his calves and stuff. And then we're going to get some wheat planted over there. So lots of stuff going on this week. I reckon this is the last week we have to get all this stuff done, because after this it's going to turn off. It's going to get colder. We're going to have trouble drying stuff. For sure the last week for hay. I mean, if I bleed over to next week on the wheat, so be it. Hopefully I don't have to, and we can get some stuff done. So wish me luck.